Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I got a lot to cover today. Before we get going, remember, if you want to join the group to get the extended videos with no advertising, you got two options. You can either go to daixrp.com if you want to join through the Patreon, or you can click this join button right below my YouTube videos and join through the YouTube channel. Cost a cup of coffee, and we're doing today in the group. We're going to talk about a lot of different stuff, but also what the chart guys are saying about, today's a little pullback. We're going to go into that. Now, down here, you got XRP at 220. My buy signal for me personally gets triggered around this point right here. And I wanted to point out the reason that the market's pulling back. Well, let me cover this in a second. Reason the market's pulling back is because of this pre-market de-risking, crypto down, gold up ahead of PCE inflation data, Fed's preferred gauge. My thoughts: risk assets likely hold up. The Fed's guidance, 2 cuts can't really get tighter, and they'll break the economy. I have a feeling these guys are about to start decreasing interest rates, and if they do, you'll see that trigger probably the next boom, in my opinion. Lark Davis, this is the other thing that's going on. Lark Davis, the fear of Trump's tariffs is worse than 9/11, the Iraq war, financial crisis, and COVID-19 shutdown. Does that sound rational to you? This could be the biggest bear trap ever. That's what I think it is. I think that these tariffs, because it's a major change on the front end, it makes people nervous. But I believe this ends in maybe one of the biggest positives in the history of finance in this country, because everything that's being done is very commonsensical. And I mean, basically the guy's saying, hey, all these countries, they've been charging us X amount for tariffs all these years, while we charge them nothing. And he's just bringing this thing into balance. And a lot of the fear that's been out there is like, this is irrational or whatever. Well, it's really just an irrational response from the countries who've been taking advantage of the U.S. All he's trying to do is even this level the playing field, just like we've been trying to do in crypto all these years. And I believe that once all of that calms down and all of a sudden the U.S. has this income stream we didn't have before, I believe it's going to be one of many reasons we're going to have a boom. Now, look at this. This is T-Boone, and don't forget, you can go to tiproject.com. He's got all kinds of XRP-related products you can order. He is doing the badges for XRP Las Vegas. There's a table full of them. This guy, it looks like he's working late at night because this is 1:34 a.m. Very nice guy, Georgia Tech grad. I've talked to him several times. And I was telling him that my dad, who is the official father of the Digital Asset Investor channel, went to Georgia Tech. Wouldn't mind if my son, who's a lefty pitcher, ended up pitching for Georgia Tech. That'd be a cool thing. They have a really cool baseball stadium, by the way. XRP Las Vegas is happening in May. It's coming fast. We're like around 60 days away, folks. Go to xrplasvegas.com. It's going to be the biggest XRP Las Vegas ever by hundreds of people. It's going to be into the thousands is what we're looking at. And so go check it out. You can still get discount tickets. You can get discount MGM Grand Rooms. That's where it is. Then Bitcoin Las Vegas is the same week, folks. And it's you can go get tickets to that too. If you'd like to go walk through Bitcoin Las Vegas, then walk through XRP Las Vegas, I promise you it'll be a huge eye-opener in the direction of XRP. Now, yesterday, Paul Atkins was doing his confirmation hearings for becoming the new SEC chairman. And here's lying Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Mr. Atkins has...
Now remember, Elizabeth Warren she'll bring up FTX, but that's about all she'll do, because remember, her friends, Joe Bankman, Sam Bankman-Fried's parents, Joe Bankman wrote her tax policy in 2016, and then Barbara Fried, I think is her name, his mother, she's the one that had the huge Democratic super PAC or whatever, and she was highly involved in funding the Democrats, which FTX just happened to be highly involved in. And also remember, both of the parents were heavily involved in FTX, never got prosecuted. Gary Gensler was having planning sessions with FTX. Don't forget that. Then when the actual trial of SBAF came along, the parents, nobody went after the parents, and they dropped all the political donation part of the case. This thing needs to be revisited. So here she is doing her lying.
Spent almost his entire career helping billionaire CEOs like Sam Bankman-Fried, who committed one of the biggest financial frauds in U.S. history as the CEO of the failed crypto platform FTX. He's been working with those folks to help them get even richer. In the 6 years that Mr. Atkins wasn't making millions of dollars off clients like Sam Bankman-Fried, he was a commissioner at the SEC in the lead up to the 2008 financial crash, when he voted to loosen the reins on big investment banks like Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns. Mr. Atkins has an almost perfect track record. He got pretty much everything wrong in the run-up to the biggest financial crash since the Great Depression. That is not a record that deserves promotion.
Okay, now let's listen to some truth right here. You won't hear this from Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Mr. Haggerty, you know who Sam Bankman-Fried is, don't you? Or Mr. Atkins, sorry.
Yes.
He looks like the fourth runner-up in a John Belushi lookalike contest, doesn't he?
That's could be.
He's a crook, isn't he?
He's convicted and, yes, in jail.
And his parents were involved in his company, weren't they?
I guess by public reports.
Don't you think the SEC ought to do something about it?
Well, I look forward to getting to the SEC to find out what has happened.
But based on what you've read, they made millions of dollars off of their son's illegal activity. Don't you think they ought to?
Let's remind you, they were buying multi-million-dollar real estate in the Bahamas.
Be punished? Don't you think the American people have see that and wonder if there are two sets of standards?
Well, I like you, I'm concerned about those reports. But
I want you to be more than concerned.
Well, I need to find out.
And when his parents did all this, they were both chaired professors at Stanford Law School, weren't they?
Apparently, yes.
Yeah. Has the SEC been investigating Stanford Law School for its involvement in this?
Yeah, I would know.
Didn't Sam Bankman-Fried's parents, who were involved in the fraud, make sizable donations to Stanford University?
Perhaps.
I don't know.
I don't know personally.
Did Stanford?
You know, Stanford Law, the same place Jay Clayton went to the day before he goes to Andreessen Horowitz to begin the Ethereum free pass memo that became the Bill Hinman speech.
Give the money back?
I would know that.
Well, Mr. Atkins, I want you to find out. And there shouldn't be two standards of law and punishment for people in America. And every time you come to this committee, I'm going to pounce on you like a ninja to find out what the SEC has done, because I don't think the SEC has done a damn thing.
Yeah.
And I read in the paper where the Bankman-Frieds, all of them, are trying to get a pardon. They're crooks. And I expect the SEC to do something about it.
Uh-oh. Let me remind you, Glenn Ellison was Gary Gensler's boss at MIT, is the father of Caroline Ellison, Alameda Research. Sam Bankman-Fried went to MIT. She went to MIT. Gary Gensler was having meetings, planning sessions, not just Gary Gensler, but the White House, CFTC, SEC, Congress, Maxine Waters was blowing him kisses. And then here's Elizabeth Warren. The father did her tax law. The mother ran a PAC for the Democrats. Senator Warren knows them. Then there's Senator Warren's, or Barbara Freed's sister. And if you ever look at that FTX org chart, I've tracked it before. And a lot of the shell companies that were created for FTX were named after streets at Berkeley. Well, who went to Berkeley? Joe Bankman, who is a tax attorney that could structure a bunch of shell companies. Joe Bankman and Barbara Freed, they're tax lawyers. Easy to follow that money trail. Here's more common sense right here.
I'll start with you, Mr. Atkins. Man, you just have to be able to breathe and not be a complete raging lunatic, and you're going to be the greatest SEC commissioner compared to the last guy. I mean, congratulations on coming after Gary Gensler, who objectively probably was one of the stupidest people in government.
Unfortunately, I disagree with the senator here. Stupid is not what Gary Gensler was. Corrupt, yes. Stupid, no. Everything he did was by design and intentional. It wasn't because he was stupid. Here's Charles Hoskinson talking about RLUSD.
We've been talking to Ripple about getting real USD on Cardano.
There you go, on Cardano. Crypto.com's announced the SEC's agreed to close its investigation against the cryptocurrency exchange with no enforcement action. Now, this is worth highlighting, folks. I've been around here a long time, and I don't miss things that are designed to be subtly mocking the XRP army, and I know when I see one. First, you need to understand that Dom, these guys from Easy A are the good guys. They're big time positive attributes to the XRP community. These guys have an app for developers on the XRP ledger. These guys are top notch. I think they're at least one of them's Harvard graduate, maybe both. But anyway, they had put this tweet out right here. Would you use the card that gives cash back in XRP? And they had really positive results, over 5,000 votes, yes, mainly. And then out of nowhere, Tyler Winklevoss puts this out, calling on the Ripple army. Earn XRP back with Gemini credit card every time you swipe. Now that's a credit card that they've had for a long time, and you can get paid in, you can get crypto back. It's not just XRP, it's multiple cryptos. And there's nothing wrong with them offering this. I'm not saying it's not a legitimate product, but here's what I am saying. When you see them calling on the Ripple army, that's not an accident. That is these Harvard a-holes being arrogant and being condescending to the XRP army. I'm not just saying that because, oh, that's a slip up, you're making too much of that. No, I'm not. I've been here for a long time. These guys, not just these guys, but the entire anti-Ripple, entire anti-XRP crowd have always intentionally, they've done it in the media, they've done it with all their pundits, they always call it Ripple. I believe that at some point a long time ago, they had talking points passed around and said, always referred to it as Ripple, not XRP, because they wanted to make them the same thing. They wanted to tie Ripple, the company, with XRP intentionally to make the issue of XRP possibly being a security more of a more solid foundation. That's why they did it. They continue to, now they're not doing it for that reason. Now they're just doing it to be a smart ass. That's what this is. Write it down, folks. And Dom knows, he's not stupid. Never forget, good things, we're cooking something much better for the XRP army. And this is a tweet from Tyler Winklevoss back when the whole debate about the reserve was going on. I have nothing against XRP, Solana, ADA, but I do not think they are suitable for a strategic reserve. Now, folks, I won't tell you who told me this, but I will tell you this, and because I know these guys, I was told a long time ago from somebody who knows and somebody I trust that they were literally, when the Ripple lawsuit was dropped, they heard one of these Winklevoss brothers on a speakerphone laughing at the Ripple guys having gotten sued, and you know, basically saying, oh, why in the world would they even show up to Bitcoin Miami or something like that when they're being sued by the SEC? That was before anybody else realized they were going to be targets. And karma came for these guys, and the SEC eventually sued them too. Then all of a sudden, they all wanted to be the crypto industry fighting against the SEC. But it wasn't that way in the beginning, and I don't forget things like this. So if I'm choosing between a Gemini XRP card and a XRP card being issued by EZA, I will be using the EZA XRP card all freaking day long. And look here, Dom says, not surprised. All the Winklevoss twins have ever done is steal ideas from, now I'm not saying that, they're saying that. Steal ideas from other people, and then they try to claim them as their own. What is this guy saying? Dom Page, he presented the idea of X yesterday, and holders would be interested. And the Twinkle Toes clearly saw the metrics, and next day his already existing Gemini credit card says, oh, you can get XRP on it when you can literally get like any crypto. Okay, moving along. GameStop stock has not reacted favorably to the idea that they're going to try to copy the Michael Saylor business model and go in debt to buy Bitcoin. I have to say, called it. All right, let's go into the group. Got a lot more, and it's at DAI XRP if you want to join through the Patreon, or you can go below this YouTube video, click the join button if you'd rather join through YouTube. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button here, tell your friends and family. Here we go.